right, here we go. So I'm going to show you guys how to do the marinade for the carne asada. And then as we go on, obviously I'll also show how I do the pico de gallo to top the carne asada with, and then we'll be grilling and all that. But right now we're going to focus on the marinade. So with the marinade, I squeezed 2 oranges. I've got a half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of salt. I like to use the Himalayan salt, that's just me. Black pepper, also half a teaspoon. I've got 4 garlic cloves. Cilantro, I use like a half a bunch. I think it's really basically up to taste. Some people really like a lot of cilantro. We kind of do. Then I've got a teaspoon of oregano. I've got 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and I've got a 1/4 cup of virgin olive oil, and then I've also squeezed 4 limes. So your citrus is gonna kind of help cure the meat a little bit. So I mean, it's pretty simple, right? So we're gonna go ahead and just pour everything in here. I usually start with all my liquids first. So that was the oil, the olive oil, the vinegar. I'll go ahead and do the lime juice, the orange juice. And I'll come in and do the cumin, the salt. Again, I use Himalayan. It's up to you, whichever you prefer, whatever your family likes. There's the pepper. I've got the garlic. If you like it a little more garlicky, then obviously do that, or also depending on the size of the garlic cloves. The cilantro, and then the oregano. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna mix it up. Give me 1 second. You don't need to cut. Let me just grab a spoon. Gonna mix that all up. As you can see, there's your marinade making right there. Now, go ahead and grab our meat. So, again, this is our flank steak that we're gonna use for the carne asada. So I'll grab that. And this is enough for both of them. So I put them both in here for 2 flank steaks. Now today we're gonna be, I think maybe even doing 4 flank steaks. So we'll do this a couple times today. But I just make sure that it's submerged as much as possible. So, there. So you can see it's pretty submerged. Most of the meat is under the marinade or covered with it. And then I let this sit for a couple of hours. I'll cover it with tin foil, right? So I'll come over, cover it with tin foil. And like I said, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just let this rest for a couple hours. All right, guys, so now we're gonna do the pico de gallo. I said I was gonna do a quick little video within the video to show you how I make that. So I've got, you can do 4 to 6 Roma tomatoes. These were a little bit smaller, so I chopped up 6 Roma tomatoes and a half of, it was a medium-sized purple onion. And then I chopped up some cilantro, so we'll throw that in there. And on a quick side note, I think on the first part of the video when I was talking about the citrus, I said it was curing the meat. It doesn't cure the meat, it actually tenderizes the meat. So excuse that verbiage there, but it tenderizes the meat. Okay, so back to the pico. So do some cilantro. I don't pour it all in right at the beginning. Then again, the salt, a little bit of salt, a little bit of cumin. I like the cumin in there just because it gives it the nice little rustic flavor. And some pepper. And then I squeezed 2 lime juices in here, or 2 lime juices. This is the juice of 2 limes. And then I go ahead and I mix it up. And then when it comes to adding more salt or more pepper or anything like that, that's gonna be to taste. So this is why I don't do all of the cilantro right from the get-go, because as you see, I've got plenty of cilantro in there already. Now what I will do is I'm gonna grab me a little spoon, we'll give it a little taste, and then we'll see And that thing is on point. I'm not even gonna add any more salt. I love it. So then I'll go ahead and I'll chill this so that when I'm done with the carne asada, we'll go ahead and top it with that. All right, thanks. All right, so we did the marinade. I showed you guys how to do the pico. This is ready to go. I love using, I don't know, I mean, these little steak hooks are awesome for me. So now we're gonna go ahead and put this on a really hot grill. Put it in place right there. Because I have another one. I might as well put the other one on there as well right now. There you go. We're gonna probably cook these about 7-8 minutes on each side. I got a brush a long time ago. You can see I have it in my grill brush. I use it only for grilling. The normal grill brushes don't do it for me. And then I go ahead and I just put this on there. Coat it really good. And then I time it. I'm gonna go ahead and probably flip these in about 2 or 3 minutes. Do the other side about 2 or 3 minutes and then flip them again. And then that way the juices stay in the middle and it cooks evenly. So I just flipped them a few times. I've been brushing on the marinade, and this is what they're looking like. So in a little bit, I'll pull them off. I will place them in this pan and then I'll take them in and I'll cut them up. But I've got 2 more to cook after this, so stay tuned. All right, so we took the meat off the grill. Here's what it looks like now. All right, so I keep it in here to keep warm. I want to give props to my mother-in-law who gave me this as a gift. This is probably one of my greatest grilling tools ever. So I'm gonna set that there. I'm gonna cover the rest of it just to keep it warm. So to cut this, right, you always want to cut against the grain. So in this case, the grain is going this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut like this, right? And then once I do that, then I'm gonna go ahead and go against the grain. So I'm gonna set that aside. And now I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing this way against the grain, right? Look at that. Look at all those juices, right? I mean, that's, oh my gosh. Now, I'm gonna get a little piece set aside. Now it's at this point that I just now start to sprinkle a little bit of salt on the meat. I don't try to do a lot of salt on the meat beforehand, only because it dries out your meat, right? So I have a couple of taste testers that I always go to. One is my beautiful wife. Let's see. What do you think?
Amazing.
Yeah, good stuff. And then we should have Matias behind the camera so you'll see it kind of.
No.
We can't see him, but we can hear him.
That's good.
Stuff. All right, so I'm gonna finish cutting this up and then I'm gonna show you guys how I plate it. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and plate this. So we got some nice hand-rolled tortillas from our local market. I'm gonna grab the meat. We've got some corn here, some rice, little avocado. And then I just lay these out like this, right on here. Right, we just kind of put them side by side. Get them nice and bulky in there. You can't have too much, so. And then I'll put some on the other one right here. And then if you guys recall, we had put together this beautiful pico, which is right here, right? This stuff is absolutely just delicious. So I grabbed some of the pico and I just put that pico right on here, just like that. And I'll grab this one. I am salivating already, putting this right on there. So I've got that. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the camera over. I'm gonna slide this over to Matias, and we're gonna switch spots. And I want to get him taking the first bite, and let's see how it is, because he's a true critique. So hang on. So there we go. There's Matias. All right. Let's see what he thinks. How was it? Is that good? Well, there you go. Well, I know you guys had requested this, so hopefully this helps. Enjoy and bon appetit.